Yes, and so everyone can chant along. It's good to chant this sutta, these words of reflection, because it does remind us as Buddhists and as human beings in this world of basically very uncertainty. This reminds us how to practice loving kindness towards all beings, and especially to ourselves, because that will bring heart, happiness and joy to ourselves and to people around us. Okay, so we'll start. The Buddha's word on loving kindness. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let him be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties and frugal in their ways, peaceful, calm and wise and skillful, not proud or demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise will later reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety. May all beings be at ease, whatever living beings they may be, whether they are weak or strong, or meeting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born. May all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another, even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child. So with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depth, outwards and unbounded, free from hatred and ill will, whether standing, walking, sitting or lying down, free from drowsiness. One should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding, by not holding to false views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being free from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so it's always good to start off with just the word of loving kindness, because when we chant the loving kindness, it's basically to remind ourselves how we should conduct our practice in daily life, because especially in these days things can be quite difficult, and we can see a lot of very negative news, so it's always good to reflect how did we develop the higher the higher virtue, the higher mind and the higher wisdom. So when we develop the virtue, the mind and the wisdom, we can understand that things that happen in the world, it's just the nature of the world. We can't do things about it, but all we can do is just reflect on our own action, speech and mind state. Because when we look within ourselves, then we can create happiness within our heart and share with other people. So chanting the loving kindness is quite important. It just reminds us again and again what we need to do, and just continue practicing this path. But we all know that our time in the world is quite short. Maybe 20 years, maybe 50, maybe 80, or maybe maximum 110. But we know that time is short, and we don't waste time. We continue practicing and developing the Eightfold Path or the Four Noble Truths, and also cultivate our heart. So when we get old, when we are sick and we are dying in bed, then we can basically reflect on our practice and our virtue, our sila, and all our wholesome good karma that we do. Because the world is always ruled by the defilements of mind, mainly greed, mainly hatred, and a lot of delusion these days. So those things are just driving people from place to place, from activity to activity, from relationship to relationship. So no matter if someone don't understand these defilements from the heart and the mind, they'll always be suffering regardless where they are. So it's always very good, important just to always to stop and have a break and just go inwards. So when we go inwards, we can understand these defilements of mind, what's happening, and why it can move us around, move our thoughts, move our emotion, bring us happiness and bring us sadness. So when things we see in the news that makes us unhappy, we understand that conflict and crisis in the world is normal. It's always been like that since the beginning of time. It's just when there's a lot of suffering, then there will be a lot of happiness and peace. So things are these are just the law of nature. It comes and it goes. So when I was walking from the past the Bodhi tree, the wind was blowing, and I heard the wind just blowing and causing the bell in the Bodhi tree to ring. And I realized the world is like that. The 8 worldly winds will just blow everything around, and the mind is like the bell. If we allow our mind to be blown around the 8 worldly winds, then you'll ring here and ring there. So in order to stop the mind from getting blown around, sometimes it's good to slow down, find a quiet place, and allow the mind to become still, and become silent, and become peaceful. But when the mind is still, we can understand the problem with the world, the problem with other people. And when we still the mind, we calm the defilements. When we calm the defilements, we can see things more clearly. We understand that things happen in the world, it's just cause and condition. And when there's a cause, there's always a conditioning. And the most important thing is, as long as we calm and still the mind, we don't get fall into the trap or make it unwholesome karma through action, speech and mind. Action, we can do a lot on that. Speech, most of the time we have really good speech, but the mind is very important, because the mind is the forerunner of everything. So when we feed our mind with unwholesome sights, words, sounds, and we say image, it can be quite stressful. But when we calm the mind down, where the mind is quite calm and peaceful, then we can develop wisdom to understand this is just nature. It's the nature of birth, of getting old, of sickness and death. And same with conflict, it's just the nature of human beings. And we cannot blame people for why they behave in that way, because they are, you see, following the defilements. So as for Buddhists, we don't follow our defilements, we develop wisdom. So when we develop wisdom, we bring happiness to ourselves and other people. Okay, so let me see, what time is it now? So it's at 7:18 now. So we'll be a bit short on time because of the delay with setting up the audio system. So the audio system was moved to the retreat center to conduct the Australian Sangha Association meeting. So I think that ran for today and also tomorrow. So that should finish tomorrow. So this Sangha Association meeting even within the Sangha, we have to deal with things that arise to do with visa for monks, or things that's happening that do concern the Sangha in Australia. So it's good for the Sangha to come together and just discuss about things that happen within all different organizations, and to come to a conclusion to how to solve the problem. So even within the Sangha, there is problems, but as a Sangha we all work together to hopefully solve things in a peaceful, calm, peaceful way. Okay, so let's talk more about meditation. So with meditation, it's quite important to ground ourselves. So one way of grounding our conscience or mindfulness is always start with the body. That's why when I teach meditation, I always ground our awareness within the body first. Because once the body is grounded and the body is relaxed, then it's easy to go to the breath. Because the body can be very coarse, and the breath and the mind is very subtle. So sometimes when we go into the breath too early, if the body is still quite anxious, then the mind can be quite agitated. Because I was looking at a survey, they say that all over the world these days, about maybe 20% of people have depression and anxiety, and it is increasing. And sometimes that depression and anxiety can manufacture in the body. So once it's manufactured in the body, you can feel pain, tightness, or tension in some part of our body. So that's why it's so important just to connect with the body first, and to learn to feel the part of our body that's quite tense, and we learn to relax it. When the body is relaxed, then it's more easy to bring awareness to the breath. When we bring the awareness to the breath, then we can calm and can relax the body even more. If the body is still quite agitated or stiff, then the mind will not be that calm, that peaceful. So that's one reason why when I teach meditation, I always start with body awareness. Because the body awareness is actually a very powerful practice. Because I have taught meditation for quite a long time, and I realized that when people are able to let the body go and disappear, they find a lot of piti and sukha within the body. Then when the body is very relaxed, and if the body can disappear, then you allow the body to heal and regenerate. So a lot of sickness is basically not able to let things go. When we hold up too much tension in the body, then it can affect our health. And to go into deeper meditation, the body has to be abandoned first. So when we abandon the body, then the mind is easier. Because the foundation is just letting things go. So the body is quite a coarse object. So if we can let the body go easily, then the mind can become calm and still easily. Okay, so we'll start off by just sitting comfortably. Okay, so while we sit comfortable in a quiet place, it can be in the garden, in the bedroom, or anywhere. You don't have too much disturbance or noise. So when you sit comfortably, then we gently close our eye. So with our eye closed, we bring our awareness to our face, and we just breathe. Take 3 big breaths. Breathe in and breathe out, and breathe in and breathe out, and breathe in and breathe out, and just breathe naturally. And we will start off with our face. Relax our face. And we relax the top of our head. Then we bring our awareness to our neck. Allow our neck to be nice and straight. And we relax. Relax our neck. Now we bring our awareness to our upper body and relax our upper body, especially the part that is attached to both our arms. If it's stiff, if it's high, just allow our arms and our arm socket to relax. Let it sag. Because sometimes when we stiff, our upper body tends to raise up. So it's time to just relax it as much as possible. Now, we gently bring our awareness to our arms, to both our arms, to our right arm and to our left arm. Okay, so I hope everyone can see. I just got a message that people can't hear me. So I speak a bit louder. Hopefully that's good. Okay, so we relax our arm, we allow it to sag, we allow it to be comfortable, and we just relax both our arms, our right arms and our left arms. And if it's stiffer, please move around until it's nice and comfortable, and relax both our arms. Then relax our hands, relax our fingers. With our arms and fingers, relax. And still, we bring our awareness to our back. Make sure our back is nice and straight, not too rigid. And we just relax. Relax our back. Any tension, any pain, we make peace with our tension, with our pain, and just relax. Relax our back. Now we bring our awareness to our tummy and our waist. Make sure our clothes is not too tight, and we just relax our tummy, our waist. Make sure our clothes is not too tight. We just relax. Relax our tummy. Now we bring our awareness to our legs, to our right and our left legs. Make sure it's nice and comfortable. If you need to, please move it around, adjust it, make it loose, and relax our leg, our right leg, and our left leg, and our lower back that's sitting on the cushion or the chair. If you need to, please move it around and relax our lower back and our legs. Now we gently bring our awareness to both our feet. Make sure it's not too tight, not too tense. We need to please move our feet around, loosen it, and just relax our feet. Relax our toe. Make peace with any pain or injury within our feet or legs, and let it go. Now, with our lower body relaxed, we gently bring our awareness back up to our face, and we just be aware of our breathing in and breathing out. We breathe in, peace, and we breathe out, letting go, peace, and letting go. And just breathe naturally, breathe calmly, breathe gently. We make peace with this body that is old, painful, and tired. We make peace with this body and we relax. Relax this body. We learn to let it go through calm, peace, and letting go. As we relax more, then we are aware of our breathing in and out. We make peace with our thoughts, with our never-ending thoughts, past and future. Meditation is learning to bring our awareness back inwards, to be aware of our breathing in and out. If we train our mind to stay within this body and with the breath, we train our mind and our thoughts to let go and make peace with this moment. The Buddha say, a mind that's completely out of control is a mind that's full of suffering. A well-trained mind that will stay within the breath. A well-trained mind will bring happiness and peace to oneself and other people. So we use the breath to ground our thoughts and feelings in this moment. You find your thoughts wander out, just gently bring your awareness back to the breath. Stay with the breath and allow your breath to relax the body and calm the mind. As your mind becomes grounded within this body, sometimes you will notice sensation of warmth coming up, vibration or tension. That's normal, especially if we are very busy during the day. This energy arises. We make peace with it and let it be. Just let it come and gently let it fade away. And gently bring your awareness back to the breath. Allow the energy of the body just to arise. Make peace with it and allow it to gently fade away. And just relax and calm this body. And bring your awareness gently back to the breath. As things become calm and peaceful, you will find that your mind will wander outwards to the world. It's okay. It's the nature of the mind to wander. We just gently bring our awareness and our thoughts back to the breath 50 times or 100 times. We train our mind to come back. is the nature of the mind to wander out, to fix things, to be busy, to be concerned with external things and form. But meditation is training the mind to come back to the body and to the breath, to train the mind to become calm, to become still, to become peaceful. Meditation is learning to let things go and make peace with the moment. It's where we find peace, happiness, and freedom. Free from concern and worry about the world. you find your mind is still wandering, it's okay. It's always the nature of the mind to wander. But we make peace with our thoughts and allow things to slowly settle. The goal of meditation is not to stop thinking, but to make peace with the moment and allow everything to slowly settle and become calm. So the mind is just a slight movement to slow things down and make peace with the world and especially with ourselves. Please enjoy the next 10 minutes of calm and peace. We'll be finishing in 4 minutes time. So the last 4 minutes, just really feel the calm and the peace and enjoy the stillness and the peace of mind and the calmness of the body before we finish. Enjoy silence and peace and freedom. Okay, so just slowly come out of meditation. So usually when things are calm and peaceful and quite relaxed, it's always good to gently come out of meditation. Because when we distance ourselves from our thoughts, our feelings, and our attention from our body, tiredness, then when we come out, especially the world, especially at this time when we distance ourselves from the world and the busyness, then we become free and at ease and relax. We can't distance ourselves from what's happening. We can get dragged in to things quite easily. So it's always good to come back inside, come back in. We know the heart and the mind It's always a safe place to be. It's calm, peaceful, and free. If we look for happiness in the world, we will not find it. The Buddhists say the world is just impermanent, not personal. And full of, sometimes full of problems. There's happiness, but also there's pain and suffering. Because everything is impermanent and always changing. But the mind is something that can be separated, free from the world. So if we come in and we make peace within the heart, within the body and mind and the heart, then no matter where we go, we are free. And when things don't go right, when things fall apart, we know the heart and the mind is a safe place where we can come back again and again and tap into that peace, calmness and freedom. Because when I first started doing meditation or Buddhism, I thought happiness is out in the world, but I realized happiness is always inside one's heart and mind. It's there where we find meaning, understanding, and especially wisdom. Wisdom is not reading books or trying to figure things out in the world. Wisdom is when we distance ourselves from other people's defilements, and from the defilements arise in our heart, and our attachment to one's dislike, anger, and sense of self, I, me, my rights, my wants, my needs. But when we calm all this down, just pure awareness and understanding, we realize we cause a lot of suffering to ourselves, and if we're not careful, we cause suffering to other people. So instead of that, we develop loving kindness and compassion, especially compassion. So when there's a lot of compassion, then we help ourselves and help other people. Then we bring happiness to the world. We can't solve all the world's problem, but we can solve our problem. We start with ourselves first. So when we free ourselves, then we can help other people. And things make sense slowly. Okay, so I'd like to ask anyone, have any questions? Yes, you have to unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I would like to ask a question. So recently when I was doing meditation, a lot of difficult and strong emotions come out.
Yes.
And I think they're kind of suppressed, and they're related to my past, some of my past experiences. And I feel really difficult.
Overwhelmed.
When I was doing meditation.
Yes.
But I think meditation also kind of helped me to ground myself.
Yes.
So I would like to ask for some advice to deal with this situation.
Yes.
Thank you.
This overwhelming emotion and thoughts, especially the thoughts that things are not fair or things are not right, or if we're not treated well, or regret, or things that happen to us not fairly. Sometimes if we hold on to it, it can actually eat into our heart. But what meditation does is allow us to distance. We distance ourselves from these thoughts and emotion. And if they do come very strongly, it's okay. We just go back to our breath and learn to just allow things to settle, slowly calm. And if our thoughts and emotion is still very strong, then we have to develop wisdom. We realize through wisdom that we are living in a human plane, and everyone is suffering in the world. So if people are suffering in the world, they will do things and say things and think of things that's quite hurtful and destructive to other people and themselves. And sometimes we have to learn to forgive people that have hurt other people and how other people hurt ourselves. And also, we have to learn to forgive ourselves if we done any mistake. Because the suffering of life is very important. It's a lesson. So I made so many mistakes, but I realized this mistake that I made is a lesson. So when I make mistake, I learn from it. I learn to let go. And I realize I'm a human being. I live in the human plane. And there will be always people doing silly things, saying stupid things, and behaving in very cruel ways. But we understand this is the nature and the defilements of human beings. But we learn to understand the suffering of life and learn to let go. Because it's funny, with internet, the teaching can be connected easily, but also we see a lot of things that's happening in the world, and also emails from friends and family. And it can be sometimes overwhelming, but we can learn to distance ourselves as much as possible from what's happening out there. If we don't distance ourselves, we get dragged into it. That's why in the world, the suicide rate is just getting out of control. There's so much depression, anxiety. So if people learn to basically let things go and keep the 5 precepts, there won't be so much suffering in this world. But that's how strong delusion is. As long as there's delusion, people will be always seeking for happiness, just through material happiness, to feed the 5 senses. But with meditation, we distance ourselves through the 5 senses. Then we develop the mind. We calm the mind. We still the mind. When our defilements is calmer, then we understand all this overwhelming emotion and thoughts. Sometimes it will drive us crazy. But if we calm everything down, we realize it's like the wind that's blowing around. We don't get caught up with it. Happiness, sadness, praise, blame, fame, defame, being important, being nobody. And this eight worldly winds is driving people mad all over the world, and this causes so much suffering. So as for a practitioner, we come inside, we learn how to feed the defilements in our heart, and when we don't feed it, we become free. It's something very difficult. Even time to time I find it very hard, but in the monastery it's easier. When I came back to Perth, to Bodhinyana Monastery, and I went to my kutia, I'll be moving up to the new kutia, further up in the monastery, deeper in the monastery, and even more quiet there. And I realized, wow, how lucky to be a monk, living in a place that's quite peaceful, and able to practice Dhamma. When I was younger, I thought material happiness and family will bring me a lot of happiness, but it bring me a lot of headache, a lot of busyness, and things are changing all the time. So that's why it's so crucial to always come back in and just make peace with ourselves. We make peace with ourselves, then we will make peace with the world. Okay, thank you. Any kind of question?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Yeah, it's okay. If there's no questions, sometimes it's good to just continue on, sitting quietly, just be with the moment. So when we are in the moment, we can feel and we can see things more clearly. Because when our mind is wandering so much, we don't feel, we don't see, we don't taste, we don't understand. When the mind is calm and peaceful, it's like we become alive. That's why people say when they do a 9-day retreat, or they stay in the monastery for 2 weeks or 3 months, they find that their 5 senses become very sharp. They can see things more clearly, they can hear things more clearly, they can smell and taste things. And the mind becomes very sharp and powerful. Because a mind that's scattered and very confused is a mind that's almost dead. It's like a zombie. We just mind just doing things with almost no wisdom or no solution. But when the mind is very calm and peaceful, we do things with a lot of clarity. It's like the mind is very clear, sharp, and awake, or alive. So that's why meditation can be quite a useful tool. Okay, so I think we'll end tonight's session. And so Chris, do you have any announcement?
No, I don't really have any announcement except to thank you for this evening. Linda, did you have some announcement?
The chat box.
Oh, okay, thank you. Oh, yes. Kayleen has asked you a question. Is there a purpose for the bell in the body? Bodhi tree.
Bodhi tree. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened is in the monastery, when some of our supporters pass away, they bring the ashes of their family, or sometimes their pets, then they scatter the ashes under a tree, or in the monastery, and sometimes they scatter the ashes of their loved ones or their pets under the Bodhi tree, and sometimes they bring flowers and like what do you call things like maybe it's jewelry and little bells and stuff, and they tie it onto the Bodhi tree and trace in the monastery. So after a while, the monastery is like become like a cemetery of people and pets all over the place. And sometimes when I walk past, I can hear the trinket or the bells just blowing and causing it to ring, especially on windy days. But usually we ask the lay people just to put the ashes along the monastery wall or in the garden next to the dam and the two Bodhi trees. We have about how many Bodhi trees here? We've got one in the Dhamma hall, and one in the car park, and two at the dam area where we collect our water for the toilets and showers. So that's why when you do visit the monastery on the windy day, you hear all these bells and stuff ringing in the background. So when that ringing is reminded of the simile of this 8 whirling winds and the bell. When the wind blows, then the bell ring. So it's simile of the mind. So when we blow around, the mind is like the wind is blowing and the bell is just ringing back and forward. But if there's no wind, then everything becomes still and calm. But if we can train our mind not to blow around like the bell, then we can basically not be blown around. Because the Buddha says it's a simile of the tree, and if the big storm comes, it can blow the tree right down. But if we like a big boulder, when the big storm comes, it doesn't blow a mighty boulder around. So a arahant is like a mighty boulder. So if there's a big storm of earthquake and stuff, it doesn't move the boulder around because it's so still and silent and completely free from defilements. So we do train our minds to be a mighty boulder or like an arahant, completely free from just the movement of the world. Okay. If there's no other questions, then so good night, and please keep safe, and just take care of one another, especially oneself. Take care of oneself. So when you take care of oneself, then we take care of other people. Okay. No worries.